Yep. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we had discussion just overview on JavaScript. So JavaScript, we discussed about purpose, right? What is the purpose of JavaScript? So what is JavaScript and what is the role of JavaScript client side? These two things we discussed. So JavaScript responsibilities, client side, it is used everywhere, client side, server side, everywhere. Client side, what are the responsibilities of JavaScript? JavaScript is used client side for DOM manipulations, browser interactions, another one client side validations, client side validations. These are all the points about role of JavaScript client side. Next important, we discussed what is interpreted, what is compiled, right? What is interpreted, what is compiled. And in compiled, two techniques again. What are those? So we have just in time, another one is ahead of time, right? So after understanding these points, how JavaScript is used client side. Now we need to know one more today. We will see evolution of JavaScript. The basic evolution of JavaScript. Evolution of JavaScript, how this JavaScript concept introduced. What is the concept behind this? Actually, to understand this, the evolution of JavaScript, first, what happened in early, so ECMA script is the first script, client side script used for browser. ECMA script is the first client side script used for browser. So when internet started, first there was a script called ECMA script. ECMA is European Computer Manufacturers Association. This is the first script introduced for browsers. So in browser, the script used was ECMA. After that, what happened is in 1995, Netscape Communications, they started a browser, Netscape browser. They started Netscape browser. Netscape is the name of browser. It is the world's popular browser in the beginning of internet. When internet started, everybody used a browser called Netscape. After that, this Netscape browser started using ECMA script. So what happened is Netscape uses ECMA as client-side script, but client-side markup, they use markup HTML and they used script as ECMA when first Netscape started. But actually, ECMA script is not designed for HTML. It is not designed for HTML. It is used along with HTML. They haven't designed for HTML, but we use with HTML. So problem with ECMA is lot of interactions of HTML, it is unable to manage. ECMA was unable to manage. Then what happened is Netscape appointed Brendan Eich to develop a client-side script. Netscape company appointed Brendan Eich to develop a client-side script. Why they appointed Brendan Eich is there was no proper client-side script for browsers. They were using temporarily ECMA, but ECMA was not enough to handle HTML. That's the reason they appointed Brendan Eich to develop client-side script. So he developed a script called, which is named as Mocha. Mocha is the name of the first script developed by Brendan Eich. After that, its name changed to LiveScript. First it was Mocha. After that, it is LiveScript. So Brendan Eich developed that script, but the script belongs to which company? Netscape. Brendan Eich, when he designed the script, its name was Mocha. After that, they changed this name to LiveScript. So they started using LiveScript for Netscape browsers. But what is the problem is, one of the problem is Netscape is unable to maintain this script because Netscape is not a company which is popular in maintaining language. They were just a company maintaining browsers, right? They were not having all the abilities to maintain a language. Then what happened? Netscape given the responsibility of LiveScript to a company. So its name is Sun Microsystems. You know this company? Sun Microsystems is very popular for its language called Java. Java belongs to Sun Microsystems, and it is very popular in the language called Java. And they have all the abilities to maintain a language. That is the reason Netscape given the responsibility of LiveScript to a company, Sun Microsystems. So it asked Sun Microsystems to maintain this language. Then what Sun Microsystems have done, they changed the name of LiveScript to JavaScript. They changed the name to LiveScript to JavaScript. There is no relation between Java and JavaScript. Not even a single relation. Then why it is called JavaScript? Simply like that. Simply just because it is maintained by the same people who have a language called Java. So generally, developers community will adapt and use a language only when they know who is behind it. For example, so currently you see some popular trending softwares like you have AWS, you have Azure, cloud related. You have like data science. you have like data engineering, you have like Angular, React. So in the entire software world, only 5 softwares are there or 10 softwares are there. There are millions of softwares. Then why only people learn these or use these? Right. So it is just because we don't use every software until or unless we know who is behind it. Right. That means, for example, if a company is behind that software and which is not capable of solving our problems, then it is waste. We don't use that software. Why? Because if they cannot solve the issues, then that language is not good. Why technologies like all these are popular? For example, Angular. Like Angular, there are so many softwares. Then why only Angular? Or React? Because behind Angular, there is a company called Google. Angular belongs to a company, Google. And we know Google's popularity. Behind React, we have Facebook. React belongs to Facebook. So they are also big players. Right? That means we know if there are major people behind, then we believe in that and we start using it because any problems come, they can easily resolve. So why Sun Microsystems changed the name of the script? Just because at that time, Java was a popular language in internet. Internet-based applications were popularly built with Java. And they want to tell the developers that you can freely use this script and it is maintained by us only. To tell that, they named that script as JavaScript. So if anyone asks, is there any relation between Java and JavaScript? Why it is called JavaScript? There is no relation. There is no relation. Only the point is, for several years, this company maintained that script. And for that, they named the script as what? JavaScript. But what happened is, in the year 2000, in early 2000, in the early 2000, Netscape stopped its services. Services. Netscape stopped its services. That company stopped in 2000. Once they stopped their services in the year 2000, now they stopped their browsers and everything. They have a language. JavaScript is their language. Then if they stop this JavaScript, then entire internet stops. So if they stop JavaScript, entire internet stops. Because complete internet was occupied with this script. Then what they have done is they stopped the company and they given this JavaScript. The JavaScript responsibility was given to a company called ECMA again, not Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems maintained for some years, but finally Netscape given this JavaScript to a company called ECMA. And JavaScript versions are released by ECMA. That is, and the JavaScript latest version of JavaScript is ECMA 2023. That is the version of JavaScript. The 2023 is recent, very recent, just few days back, it became stable. So this is the latest version of JavaScript. So JavaScript version is ECMA. Actually, what happened after this company has taken, they given like this ECMA script 2015, 2015, 2015. In short, it is called ES5. So it is 2016, ECMA script 2016, like this. In short, it is called ES6. These are the version numbers of JavaScript. So many people are not aware of this, right? The latest version is what? Latest version is ECMA. Yes, what? 2022, 23. So this is the latest version of JavaScript. Every year, some new versions are coming. So many people don't know this. They think JavaScript different, ECMA different. ECMA is the version number of JavaScript, right? So if anyone asks which version JavaScript you learned, then you have to tell the number ES5, ES6. ECMA 23 is very latest, but companies are still using ES6 and 7 only. ES6, ES7. Majority out of 199 are using ES5, ES6 and 7 only. Right? So that means JavaScript versions are ES. Which sometimes people don't know this. When we learn JavaScript, they generally ask, like, so means in the beginning of courses, they ask, sir, will you teach JavaScript and ES6 also? That question is a simple like joke. That means what you are talking about. Will you teach JavaScript and ES6 means? First of all, you don't know what is it. So then don't talk about it. Right? Ask what it is first. Right? So ES6 is the version of JavaScript. That means you are learning JavaScript means you are learning latest features which are under the version number ES6, ES7 like that. So we are going to learn latest features, but in resume, you mention about only ES6. That is enough. Why? Because if you keep ES23 and all, that is too much overaction, right? You are doing in your resume. Then interviewer will play with you, right? So because he says that I don't know 2023, you learn 2023, then okay, I will ask you questions now so that you can't answer at all, right? So because not required time waste, right? Why? Because so if you are learning the versions which are having all the features which companies are using, that is enough. Maximum companies are using which version? ES7. ES7 is too much. It's very high, right? So that is enough. However, whatever is there in 23 also, I will teach you. Here I will tell you. But in your resumes, don't mention that. Just mention up to what? ES6. Which version of JavaScript you learned? ES6. But you will know all the new features until 23. So we will discuss them. But we will mention an older version only, right? So that is the JavaScript evolution. So first it is Mocha, after that LiveScript, after that JavaScript. And now it is better to say as ES. Yes, right? So now how to use JavaScript, we will see. This is the first evolution, how it works. So one point is clear, which version of JavaScript we are using, right? So we are going to deal with ES6. However, our version is 23 latest because whenever we start writing latest only works, right? So we will learn latest, but we will put up to 6. That's enough. Okay. Now, how do we can start using JavaScript? Same like CSS, several topics no need to explain because already we learned in CSS. So we will not waste time again discussing in that. First thing is, in how many ways CSS can be integrated into page? In how many ways CSS can be integrated into page? 3 ways. What are those? Inline, embedded, external file. JavaScript also same. We can write JavaScript inline, we can write embedded, or we can write external file. Let's see here. So first thing, various techniques of integrating JavaScript into HTML page. Various techniques of integrating JavaScript into HTML page. We have 3: inline, embedded, and external file. So what is inline concept? We know actually inline script. It is inline script. So it is defined within the element. It is defined within the element start tag. You can say token or tag. It is defined within the element start token by using various JavaScript events. By using various JavaScript events. So how we define? That is by using these techniques. What are events? I will tell you. We will discuss that. Inline is nothing but, suppose we have a button. For this button, I want to write some logic. Then directly we write here on click. That means on the button click. So some window dot print. This is how we write the logic. Directly the logic is defined inside the HTML element. This is called inline. So on click indicates what are the activities to perform when user clicks on the button. When user clicks on the button on click. Like that, so many events you will learn. And there are so many functions also we will see. Suppose I am designing one page. Let's create one page. So in this page, we will, this is Amazon. Which one is our Flipkart? Yeah. So I'm creating one page here. Let's close all. Yeah. I will add a new folder. So let's say JavaScript examples. Okay, let's add some inline.html. So we have a page, and in this page, we are defining some heading, some click, print button to print page. There is a print button here, button print. On this print button click, we should print the page. Then just you can write inside the button on click window.print. That is the function. Remember, JavaScript is case sensitive. Capitalization matters. Exactly, you need to write how we define. right? Now, later you are going to learn different functions. Temporarily, I'm just showing one function called window print. What this window print will do is it will invoke the printer settings and it can print your page. So we are just writing the logic inside the button itself. Now I will save this here and I click on print. Then it will invoke the printer settings and it can print. So this is very simple. We are not doing anything, just writing the code here itself. This is inline technique. We know its problems. What are the problems in inline technique? What is the advantage of inline technique? It is inline technique is fast. But what is the drawback? We cannot reuse. If the same functionality we want in various locations, then again we need to rewrite. That is the problem. As of now, only one word is there, it's okay. But later, if there are hundreds of statements we need to execute, then this is not okay. So, what is the example here? So, this is the example. Okay, first we will put here inline technique, inline technique. So allows to execute the function faster as it is configured native to element. That is, inline technique allows to execute the function faster as it is configured native to element. Now you have another important is it is not good for reusing the code. It is not good for reusing the code. So reusability issues will be there. So example is this. That is the example. So this is how we can handle inline script. This is one technique of configuring the inline techniques. We are going to see a lot of examples, but this is just the basic one, okay? And this is example for that. Now, what is the second technique? Second technique is what? Embedded script. Embedded script. Embedded script is nothing. JavaScript function can be defined. So in HTML page by using script container. By using script container. So what is the advantage? You can reuse the function from any location in page. Now here, one more important point is already we learned in CSS. So it is easy for us now where to embed the script in head or body. In CSS, what you learned, where to embed in head or body. I told you 3 points. You can embed in head, you can embed in body, you can embed outside HTML also. But outside HTML is officially not recommended. So you can embed in head or body. What is difference between head and body? Head means it is first loaded into memory. From the memory, it is given to page. Body means it is directly taken by the page. That depends. So same rules, same points. So you can embed in head or body section. Embed in head or body section. So syntax, we write like this: head. In head, we have a script. And here, script will use a function. Function indicates what is the functionality. Function and the function name print page. This function will do the work window.print. That is the function we need to define and close head. Now button have to access that. On click is equal to, it should call which one? Print page function. That is what we have to do. This is called embedded. So we can write the JavaScript functions. Remember, this function is a keyword. You have to write exactly like that. And print page is a function name. You can give any name, just like I told you mixins and I told you functions in SAS, same. So here we have to just write a function and function name. And this function can have any number of statements. Currently it is having only one. What is advantage is from any place you can access the function. It will do this work. It is going to do that work. So we can easily reuse the code. Code reusability we can achieve by using this technique, right? This is same thing you learned in styles also. We can write the styles inline or we can write the styles embedded, right? So here we are writing the script embedded. So let's see. I will remove this window.print. Now it is unable to print. It's not working now. I will go to the head script. In the script function, so print page, and it should access window.print. That's it. And on click, we have to call which one? Print page function. Then it is going to execute that and it is going to work. That is the technique of how we can make use of embedded. Now this is example here. Let's copy that example. Now while writing embedded, some more points are there. First point you need to know is, while writing embedded, same like writing embedded in styles also, the MIME type of JavaScript is, I told you MIME type of CSS. What is the MIME type of CSS? Text/CSS. Why we need MIME type? To tell the browser what type of code we are writing. I explained what is MIME means. MIME is multi-purpose internet mail extensions. MIME type tells what type of script it is. So for CSS, what MIME type we given? Text/CSS. For JavaScript, it is text/JavaScript. Text/JavaScript. Or there are so many things. We have text/module. So, or say module. We have like, or we have like text/Babel. So many are there. MIME types are there. But all are not required as of now. As of now, you need only text/JavaScript. Module, Babel, JSX, so many other types will be there. They are used in different other occasions. Initially, the MIME type is text/JavaScript. That is enough. So we can write like this: syntax script type is equal to text/JavaScript. Actually, in old versions, people write like this here. So, like script language is equal to JavaScript. This is not practiced now. These days, we don't use this technique. This is the old technique. Old technique, and this is the latest. So, latest technique is always use text JavaScript. The old method is we can use language as JavaScript. Even today, several projects you will see people writing language JavaScript because companies will be using old versions only. See, while learning a technology, you will be excited in learning new versions, but companies will not use new versions, right? Companies still be using old version because generally company project starts 2 year back, 3 year back. It will be up to 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, depend on scale. That means they build one application for 3-4 years. And in those 2-3 years, several new versions are released. And in between, they will not change. With which version they started, they will finish with it. That is the reason in the current training, people learn latest versions, but companies don't use them. Companies will be still using old. Any recent project started and that project needs the latest features, then only they will go with that new version. Otherwise, they will not choose new versions. So, even you learn the latest version in several company projects, you may experience old techniques. That is because they are still using old version. So you should know both how we write in latest, another one is old. That is the technique. This is enough now, right? How you can do. Next point is after mentioning the type as JavaScript, next important concept is you should know here a question. What is JavaScript strict mode? What is JavaScript strict mode? What is the JavaScript strict? So this is very popular question asked here. What is the JavaScript strict mode? Actually, strict mode is nothing but, so usually when you are writing JavaScript here, suppose see some demo.html. Yeah. So we are writing some script. Suppose see, I'm using x equal to 10. Document.write x equal to plus x. Just observe. No need to worry what is it. Just see. Actually here, x is a variable. In that variable, we stored a value 10. And we are printing x. But here there is some technical problem. A variable x is directly being used without declaring x. You haven't declared x and you are directly using x. As per programming standards, variable must be declared and used. Here we are not declaring, directly using. But JavaScript allows it. In every other language, it will fail. In other programming languages, this code will fail. But in JavaScript, it will not fail. In JavaScript, it will work. In JavaScript, it is going to work. What is it? This is, yeah. In JavaScript, it is going to work. It will not fail. In that case, now what is the big headache is some developers are following standards and writing the logic. some are not following the standards and writing the logic, then lot of code inconsistency will come. Code inconsistency means there are 100 developers working on same project and everybody have his own ideas. Then that is not good. That means you are not the only person who is building application. You written 2% logic and forward to next team. That will continue some logic and forward to next team. So your entire application is built in several levels and by many developers. Then developer to developer, the rules should not change. For everybody, same rules we have to follow. Otherwise, lot of code inconsistency will come. We don't know what previous person is written. Then it's a big headache. So we don't want developers to violate the standards of coding. We want developers to follow the standards of coding. Then why this is problem in JavaScript? Because JavaScript is not a strictly typed language, whereas other programming languages are strictly typed. C, C++, Java, .NET, all these programs are strictly typed. That means if you don't follow the standards, they don't work. But JavaScript is not strictly typed. In that case, we ask our developers to turn on strict mode, to turn on the strict mode manually. If you turn on the strict mode, then it will not allow developers to violate the programming standards. How to turn on the strict mode? At the top of your code, you have to add a word in the quotations, use strict and semicolon. This will turn on strict mode. This strict mode, if it is set in the code, it will not allow now JavaScript to violate the standards. That means now developer must write as per standards. If you don't write, it will not work. See now, when I turn on strict mode, then automatically this code is not going to work. If you want to see what is the problem, go to inspect. In the developer tools, so this is developer tools. In the developer tools, go to console. JavaScript errors are present in this console. Go to console. In the console, it says X is not defined. As per the rules of programming, X is a variable which must be defined. But when I remove this strict mode, then it is not verifying, it is working. That means JavaScript is not in strict mode. We have to manually turn it on, right? What is the problem if any language is not in strict mode? Then a lot of code inconsistency will happen. So avoid that. We need this concept to handle. The concept of strict mode. Strict mode, what is strict? Strict mode allows the language to validate the coding, validate the code standards and report issues. So JavaScript is not a strictly typed language. So you have to turn strict mode on manually. How do we do that? We have to use strict in the top. Then we have to write the code. X equal to 10 document.write X equal to plus X. That code I will explain later. Logic we will see later. Now if you write this code, this is invalid. Why it is invalid? X is not defined. So here, same point is, so it is valid if you remove strict mode. If you remove strict mode. So in strict mode, how to make it? In strict mode, to make it valid, you have to declare that variable. That means what we have to do, script. So we have use strict, and we have to declare var x equal to 10, like this. Now this is okay. What is var? How to declare variable? You will see that. Here first you need to just understand what is the meaning of strict mode. That's it. Other things you will see. Now this is valid. This is valid. So if anyone asks what is strict mode, so what is your answer? Strict mode will not allow developers to violate the programming standards, right? That means strict mode will force the developers to write logic as per standards, That is one important thing. So while writing code, you need to know about this. One more thing is important while writing the script is, another option is, so in interviews they ask this question also, is what is how to target code for legacy browsers. How to target code for legacy browsers. This is also not required, but at a different project levels we need them. Generally, nobody knows also about it very much, but at very extreme experience levels, you will see people using this legacy code. Actually, legacy browsers means what is problem is JavaScript have browser dependency problems. That means some options in JavaScript don't work in all browsers in same way. Browser dependency issues will be there. Not only JavaScript, even HTML, CSS also have browser dependencies issues. I told you in CSS WebKit plugin, Mozilla plugin, Opera plugin, I told you in the transitions. That means JavaScript, generally, we write with advanced logic. So, but several browsers can't understand your advanced logic. Legacy means old version. Old version browsers cannot understand the modern way of JavaScript, right? In that case, we want to translate the new JavaScript into old and give to old browsers. Then we have an habit of doing like this. What we do is, whenever we write this code, this is code. Here what we have to do, script type. Type is what? Text JavaScript. One more we have to do, what it is? Use strict. Another important is, this code, whatever you written here, this code is enclosed in HTML comments. It is written in HTML comments. These are HTML comments. In HTML, comments are written like this. That means you want to write some help notes to the developer, which should not display on screen. but it should be in page. Then in HTML, we write comments like this: angle break, bracket, exclamation, hyphen, hyphen. This is comments. That means here I will, this page invokes printer settings. See this inside the, not see that. This is not this file, another file. No? You will not see that inside that page. Then why you written it? This is just a comment for developers, not for general people. So you are writing the code in comments. And in HTML comments, we are writing the JavaScript code. What is this? Why you need this? So this is to tell browsers, which are old version browsers, that this code may have some new features which you need to translate into old. For example, what happens is we have in old version math.power. This is going to calculate 2, 3. That means 2 to the power of 3. In new version, we have 2 double asterisk 3, which is equal to power of 3. In new version, people write like this. Then old version browser can't understand. Old version browser says, what is this double asterisk? Unrecognized token. Because the double asterisk is not understandable to old browsers. This is new actually to calculate power. Now, if you write like this, old browsers can't understand. But if you put this in this code, in this block, if you put that in that block, then what happens? This is translated into this. The new code is translated into old and given to the browser so that old browsers also can understand. For that, we write the code in legacy type. This is legacy. Nobody knows about this until or unless you are working on JavaScript from more than 15, 20 years. You don't know this. That means even people having experience of 5, 7 years, recent JavaScript, they also don't know this technique. Right? Why? Because this is not recently practiced and followed, but very old projects, sometimes which are 10, 15 years back projects, you have to work on them in companies. Then you will see code like this. That means JavaScript code is written in a legacy type. Then you will be confused and surprised why they are writing like that. Now you will not surprise because you know the technique, why they write like that. So this is also same actually. Now I click print button, the print is working. But the code is kept in which location? It is kept in HTML comments, right? So how you can target your code for legacy browser? By enclosing the code in HTML comments. So here we need to define your code, and here we need to close like this. Example is this. By enclosing the code in HTML comments, you can target for legacy browsers. So we can keep the script inline, or we can keep the script embedded. When you are writing inline, you don't need MIME type. You don't need strict mode. They will not be written. Strict mode and inline and legacy, these are required only when you are writing embedded, or when you are writing in an external file, right? This is embedded. So in embedded, you learn 3 extra points. So one is what is MIME type. Second one, how to target the code for legacy browsers, how to write code in strict mode. right? These are three basic things. Now, what is drawback in embedded? Issue with embedded technique. Technique is what is that issue? Issue with embedded technique is code is not accessible to other pages. That means whatever the code you written, it is available only for that page. Suppose I have a print button in several pages. In every page, print button should work in the same way. Then we cannot write on every page now. Then what is the, what is the technique? So JavaScript in external file. JavaScript in external file. Same like CSS in external file. What is JavaScript in external file is you can write JavaScript functions in a separate external file with extension .js. So that you can access and use from any page. So scripts are included into page by using script element, script src. So file.js, that is the script source we need to define. This is external file. Same like CSS, JavaScript code also can be in an external file. Its extension will be .js. So what is good is it is cleanly separated. You can access from other pages. What is drawback? What is the drawback of code in external file? Why it will be slow? Why it will be slow? So it will be slow because it increases the number of requests per page. It increases the number of requests per page. If number of requests per page increases, then the page load time will increase. That already we discussed that. So example is what we will do first. So we have src scripts folder. In src we have files and we have scripts, and add a new file into that, print.js. And in that we have to write the code. Function print, and what this have to do, window.print. So JavaScript functions are script file. After doing this, script src is equal to /src/ scripts / print.js. That is how we need to define. Now, how to access in that print? There is a on click is equal to print page. Print page is not present in this page. It is coming from another file which you linked here. Right. So this is the technique of external. So we are not spending much time in understanding this because these concepts we already know. Only the point in JavaScript how, because in CSS already we done that. Right now, one more thing you know already. What is that? Minification. We learn, na? So generally in real time, in development, we use the original files. In production, we use the minify. How to minify JavaScript code? Same like CSS minifiers, you will have JS minifier also. You can use those JS minify your code, copy and use it in your project. Minified codes are used in production. Unminified codes are used in development. That process already I told you, right? So let's see here. I will go here, remove this use strict and function. Now you can see that this print is not working. What we have to do, we will go to src, in that scripts, in the scripts new file print.js. In that we will paste that function. Strict mode, legacy, all are same. Now go to here and we have to put script src. src is coming from /src/scripts print.js. In that print page function is there. Now it should work. It is going to work. So this time it is coming from an external file. So this is the code we have to give. Just roughly I defined, this is the code. So this is print.js example. Print.js, I am writing the code in that way, and index.html. So this is the code we have. This is just the example for that technique. Now how to minify? Let's see. How to minify, same like CSS you have learned. What is it? So same like CSS, how you learned. What is it? JS minifier. There will be JS minifier. You can open JS minifier. This is JavaScript minifier online. What you have to do? Copy the code. Copy this code. Okay. And these minifiers may not understand old techniques. These are very latest ones. When I click minify, it minifies that code. And you can see it will ignore all other things. Right? So, and we just need to copy the minified code and go to our project. We need to add a new file. What is it? print.min.what.js. In that, this is the minified code. Already we know size will vary. I will open in Explorer. So print.js properties, it is occupying 86 bytes. And print min.js, it is occupying 49 bytes. So size is reduced. So in our production environment, I remove this now. When I remove this, you see print is not working. We will put print min.js. Now you can see that is working fine. But this time we are using a minified code, right? So this technique already you know, just I will give a point. So note, you can minify your JavaScript code and use the minified file for production environment. So you can try this website jsminifier.org. Process, no need to show you in the notes already, you know, you have to just follow that. So how JavaScript can be integrated into page? So inline JavaScript, embedded JavaScript, or external file. Now, when you are dealing with JavaScript, the first thing you should know, depending on situation, whether you can give inline or embedded or external. There is nothing like which one is best, right? Because sometimes we don't want to reuse, we want to use from one place. For only one element, it should work. Then better you write inline. If we want to use anywhere inside this page only, then embedded. Across pages, then we can go with external file. This is the technique of embedding JavaScript. Now, what are the drawbacks? That means another question here is, what are the issues with JavaScript? Or you can say drawbacks. What are the drawbacks of JavaScript? So what are the drawbacks of JavaScript? A lot of problems actually. JavaScript, so one important problem with JavaScript, it is not strongly typed language. It is not a strongly typed language. In interviews, they ask this difference. What is strongly typed? What is strictly typed? They will ask. So strictly typed is different. Strongly typed is different. Several programming languages are strongly typed. JavaScript is not strongly typed. What is strongly typed means, suppose here, what is the concept of strongly typed is, suppose here we are having some script here. Suppose I defined var x 10. So that means now x is a number. Now into x, I stored some John. Is it valid? It is also valid. Into x, later I sent true or false. That is also valid. That means there is no restriction for data types. In a number, you can store string. In a string, you can store number. There is no restriction. Then problem. So several programming languages are not like that. They will say x integer. Then x must be only integer. If any another you try to store, it will not allow. JavaScript is not like that. So then we have problem. We have to do lot of validation. Means when user enters a value, we must verify is that value is the same what he is expecting. That's all headache. But there is no other way. We have to do that. So JavaScript is not a strongly typed language. JavaScript is not a strongly typed language. What does this mean is, so there is no restriction for data types. So a variable can handle any type. So it can transform to another type. This is the point. So this is the problem of not strongly typed. That means syntactically, so if var x equal to 10, so here x is number. And into that x is a. then X becomes string. X is string. Into that X we stored some true. Then X is Boolean. It becomes a Boolean. That is. So JavaScript is not strongly typed. So you need lot of validations for restricting the data types. That is the point. So first thing is JavaScript is not a strongly typed language. Second point is it is not implicitly strictly typed. It is not implicitly strictly typed. What is strictly typed? Just now I explained. Strictly typed means, will it verify the programming standards by default? By default, it will not verify the programming standards. It will verify only when you turn on strict mode. But other programming languages don't need that. They will be by default internally strictly typed. You don't need to turn on any strict mode for them. They are already strict mode. So it is not implicitly strictly typed. You have to turn on strict mode explicitly. You have to turn on strict mode explicitly. That is. Next important. So JavaScript it is not an OOP language. It is not an OOP language. What is the issue if any language is not an OOP language? Then if it is an OOP language, actually it supports only few features of OOP. But it is not a OOP language. If it is not a OOP language, no code level security will not be there. Another important is, so no dynamic polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Later you will learn, then you can understand. And very important is, so no easy extensibility. These are all the drawbacks of not being an OOP language. Extensibility issues will be there. There is no dynamic polymorphism. Code level securities issues will be there. So these are all the drawbacks. These are all the drawbacks of an JavaScript because it is not an OOP language. So you will face the issues with code securities. These all you are going to learn in OOP concept. When we start OOP concept, there you will understand what is polymorphism, dynamic polymorphism, what is code level security, you will learn there. And in JavaScript, we don't have them, right? Thus, you will see while learning the language, right? But this is another drawback. Another problem is JavaScript. So it is blocked by browsers. It is blocked by browsers. So it is not safe. JavaScript is blocked by browsers. It is not safe. Lot of technical problems are there. But there is no other way. We have only one solution for browser, that is JavaScript. So actually, it is blocked by browsers. In browsers, there will be an option, block JavaScript. Why JavaScript is blocked? Because JavaScript is a huge threat for application actually. For example, see, we are using this browser. This is Edge settings. In Edge settings, I will search for JavaScript. And you can see this is JavaScript settings. JavaScript is allowed. I can go JavaScript and I can block JavaScript. If I block JavaScript, JavaScript is not allowed. Now these functions will not work. How to tell user JavaScript working or not? In HTML, we can use a tag. In HTML, so here, in HTML page, we can use a tag in the body. The tag is no script. No script is a tag which contains message. I will put a message, JavaScript disabled. So please enable JavaScript on your browser. This message we will give. Now you can see that message is going to display here. If JavaScript is not working in the page, this will come. No script is an element which verifies JavaScript working or not. Currently JavaScript is blocked. It is not working. Again, I enable JavaScript and I refresh. That message will not be there. That message will be there only when JavaScript is not enabled. Right? So now print is working fine. Why they have given a block option for JavaScript? Because JavaScript is very dangerous for web actually. Not web, any application with internet, very big problem with JavaScript is actually JavaScript is used for Trojans. JavaScript is mostly used for Trojans. It is mostly used for Trojans. I explained once, right? So what is Trojans? Virus is different, Trojan is different. Trojan and virus are not same. Virus is different, Trojan is different. Actually, difference between Trojan and virus is actual point is Trojans can broadcast your information to others. Trojans can broadcast your information to others. Suppose you give your laptop to me for 5 minutes or your mobile to me for 5 minutes and I will give it back to you. And after I given to you, I can see everything what you are doing on your mobile in my mobile. Right? We can see everything what you are doing in your PC in my PC or in my mobile. I can even control that. That's not a great concept because everybody knows that, right? There are so many softwares which can do that, right? That is the reason. So here the point is how you can control a device remotely, how that information is broadcasted to you. That is done by JavaScript only. That means JavaScript can broadcast your information to others. Trojans are dangerous. They are legally used actually. Suppose, Google have a family app. Google Family. There is a Google Family app. Right? If you know Google Family app. So generally these days kids are using tabs, mobiles and all. Then what parent can do? He can install Google Family app across all devices. And what they can do, they can control the device. That means they can switch off the phone, they can lock the phone, they can remove the apps, install apps on that particular phone remotely. That is official. That is Google is officially doing. That is Google Family application. right? That means you can even know where the phone is. You have the options now, like find my phone. How it finds your phone. Your phone information is broadcasted. How it is done? Through this kind of scripts only, right? So because JavaScript have a location object, that location object will get the current position and it will show. For example, I will just show you roughly, but later you will learn about it. Suppose JavaScript have a navigator dot geolocation, so that get current position. Actually, I'm just using a logic here. So position. Don't worry about this. Just see the concept here. Document dot write. So we are using here. So latitude. So we are accessing latitude from position coordinates. So latitude and longitude. Means I'm just writing a logic to know where my current device is, right? So position dot longitude. That means how coordinates dot longitude means how these softwares use this concept. You see, when I run this, it will return this is the latitude and longitude. And I will copy this latitude and I will open Maps, Google Maps. In Google Maps, we will paste that latitude, comma, and this longitude. I will copy that, paste, and hit enter. It shows where that location is on map. That means it gets the location of the device and it will show the location of the device. So if you see, it shows the location here. This is the location. This is the location. That is the location. Right? That is the location. So you can see that is the location it shows. Right? That is the location it is going to display there. Right? So the point here is this is done by using latitude and longitude. And who sent this information? JavaScript. If I disable JavaScript, nobody knows. Right? That is the point here. So JavaScript is not highly secured. Lot of technical issues will be there. If you disable JavaScript, then nobody can know that location. Right? It's not a great concept actually. So many technical issues will be there. Browsers may block JavaScript. In that case, lot of interactions will not work now. Right? This is one simple thing, how we can handle. These all you will learn, right? These are the drawbacks. The major drawbacks of JavaScript, it is not strongly typed. It is not strictly typed. It will not support all the OOP features and it is not safe and secured. Right? But important, what are the features? Features already I told you. In the beginning, whatever I explained, these are all features. JavaScript reduces the burden. It handles DOM manipulations. It handles client-side interactions. So it handles client-side validations. All these comes under what? Features. Then what is the solution for this? That means another question is, what is alternative for JavaScript? So the answer is there is no alternative for JavaScript in browser. However, developers can use a language TypeScript to overcome, so to address the issues with JavaScript. TypeScript is not understandable to browser. browser, it is again translated into JavaScript. That is what the point. So these days, what developers do, just like SAS, you have seen SAS. So why we have SAS? You learned SAS, na? Why we learned SAS? SAS is not understandable to browser. If SAS is not understandable to browser, why you learned it? Because to use the programming features of SAS and write CSS in a more simple and better way. But finally, that is again translated into CSS, same TypeScript also. TypeScript is a language which is used in the modern web development everywhere. All JavaScript technologies are now using TypeScript. Means people who are using React, Angular, Vue, all they are using TypeScript. But TypeScript is not understandable to browser. It is again translated into JavaScript. But TypeScript have more features when compared to JavaScript that you will learn when you are learning TypeScript. So TypeScript is strongly typed. It is an OOP language. So many features are there, right? We will not go into those features now. But what is alternative is JavaScript is this TypeScript. Actually, there are so many. We have so many scripts. Like you might have heard about a coffee script is there. You know? So for example, usually you say JavaScript alternatives, right? Alternatives, JavaScript alternative scripts. So JavaScript alternative scripts. So you will see some 12 alternative scripts somebody has given that. So JavaScript. So these are the 12 alternative scripts here. So you see, these are coffee script is one very popular. We have TypeScript one we have just seen. So ELM is another, Kotlin is there. So Closure script is there. Hacks these are all scripts. LiveScript is old already. We know it is derived from LiveScript only now, right? These are all the alternates, Dart and all. Companies use them. Several companies use them. Why several companies use these kind of rare scripts other than that? Because why they use? Because if anybody uses the same as others, then there is more possibility of easy hacking. If I use a rare script which don't know by several people, then it's difficult. Right? If you are using the same concept which everybody knows, then everybody can easily hack it. You are using some rare thing which nobody knows, then it is difficult for him to hack it. That is only the point. But it is difficult, it is not impossible. Because any security we can break just by exploring it, right? That's the reason it's so many alternatives are there. Companies use also. That means companies, several projects they use, right? These coffee scripts and TypeScript and others, right? Anyhow, in future, you will learn that TypeScript and all. While learning technologies like React or Angular, you will learn about them because they are completely using TypeScript only, not JavaScript everywhere, right? So these are the drawbacks and features. So you have learned how to keep JavaScript in the page. Now, how JavaScript takes control of HTML? How CSS takes control of HTML? There is a button. CSS have to apply some effects to button. How? How CSS will apply effects to button? Who is responsible for choosing that button? Who in CSS is responsible for choosing that button so that we can apply some effects? We use selectors now. Selectors responsibility is to select an element so that we can apply effects. Similarly, how JavaScript selects HTML, how it will take control of HTML. Suppose JavaScript have to close a window, then how JavaScript takes control of that. So these are the various techniques how it takes control, right? That we'll see tomorrow. Right, in tomorrow's session, we will discuss the various ways how JavaScript takes control over HTML. Okay.